It was the kind of insult that sinks into your bones, a chilling dismissal of your deepest ambition. Night school is for losers, Derek. You're too old to change careers, she sneered. I just nodded, a quiet humiliation burning inside me. Little did she know, for years later, she'd be standing across from me in a courtroom, staring at the loser who now held a law degree, thanks to a speeding ticket of her own. I was 35 last month when I finally graduated from law school. 4 brutal years of night classes, all while working full-time as a paralegal. 4 years of my now ex-girlfriend, Melissa, 33, relentlessly telling me I was wasting my time, wasting my money, caught in some ridiculous midlife crisis. We've been together for 6 years, a lifetime in some ways. We started dating after I'd been laid off from a corporate job during the recession and was working construction. I met her at a bar. She was this stunning executive who, for some reason, found my blue-collar thing hot. We moved in together after a year, and when I landed the paralegal job at a small firm, she was supportive. At first, better hours, a steady paycheck, no more coming home covered in drywall dust. But the moment I told her I was applying to night school for my JD, everything shifted. Derek, you're 31, she'd say, her voice dripping with condescension. Law school is for kids fresh out of college, not guys pushing middle age. I try to explain. It's only part-time, Mel. For years, and I can still work. She actually laughed. A harsh, derisive sound that echoed my worst fears. For years? You'll be 35 when you graduate, starting at the bottom, while everyone else your age is already partners. It's embarrassing. That word, embarrassing, hit me hard. It stung. But I applied anyway, driven by a quiet defiance. I got into a decent state school with a solid night program, and the first semester was hell. 40 hours at work, then classes 4 nights a week. Coming home at 10 p.m. only to study until 2 a.m. I was exhausted, but she offered no comfort, only constant undermining. You're studying again? She'd sigh. There's a new Netflix show we could watch. Or, can't you skip class tonight? My friend's having a party. The worst was the financial jabs. How much is this costing us again? We could have gone to Europe with that tuition money. The us part infuriated me. I was paying every single cent of my tuition from savings and loans. She made twice what I did, but her finances were kept meticulously separate. We split rent 50-50, even though she was pulling in $95,000 to my $42,000. It wasn't us, it was all me. Year 2, that's when it truly got nasty. At parties, she started introducing me as her perpetual student boyfriend. She'd tell her friends I was having a quarter-life crisis, even though I was 32. But the real blow came when I made law review, a huge achievement. Her response? A smirk and, wow, top of the remedial class. That's when I stopped telling her about my successes. When I landed a summer internship at the district attorney's office, I just said I was doing extra work. When my criminal procedure professor recommended me for a federal clerkship, I kept it quiet. Her negativity had poisoned the well. Year 3, she really ramped up the psychological warfare. She started going out more without me. Since you're always studying anyway, she'd snap. Then came the Instagram stories. Fancy restaurants, champagne, captions like table for one while the boyfriend pretends to be Elwoods. It was a calculated cruelty designed to make me feel isolated and inadequate. The breaking point shattered 6 months before graduation. I was utterly drained, killing myself preparing for the bar exam while still finishing classes. I walked through the door, my mind reeling from a complex legal theory, and found her in bed. And then I smelled it, a strange cologne, not mine, not hers, definitely a man's. On the nightstand, clear as day. Oh, that's just from my co-worker, Bradley, she said a little too casually. He gave me a ride home, right? The same Bradley she'd been texting constantly. The Bradley whose LinkedIn profile she checked daily. I knew, in that gut-wrenching moment, that she was setting up her next relationship, keeping me around as a comfortable placeholder until Bradley was firmly hooked. And honestly, I was too tired to even react. So I did what any exhausted law student who just had his world flipped would do. I smiled. I said that was nice of him. And then I went to study. But beneath the surface, a plan was forming. I started quietly looking for my own place. I found a small studio near campus, packed my essentials, and when she went on a girls' weekend, I moved out. Just like that. I left a note. Needed a quieter place to study. Best of luck with Bradley. You know, sometimes people are so busy trying to tear you down, they don't even see you building yourself back up. And if you're finding this story relatable or just enjoying the ride, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. More wild tales are coming. Her phone blew up, of course. Not because she loved me, not because she missed me, but because I dared to disrupt her timeline. She wanted to be the one leaving, the one trading up. How dare I leave first? I blocked her on everything. I needed absolute focus. I poured all that pent-up frustration and silent determination into the bar exam. And I passed. On my first try. Last week, I officially started as an assistant district attorney. It's not big money yet, but it's a decent salary, good benefits, and most importantly, actual respect. My supervisor, Janet, is a badass who started law school at 40, so she completely gets it. And then, yesterday happened. I was in traffic court, observing as part of my training. The judge was flying through the docket. Next case, she called. Citation number 7854B. State versus Melissa Hartwell. My blood ran cold. There she was. Designer suit, perfect makeup, that same dismissive expression she used to give me when I talked about torts. She was fighting a speeding ticket. 87 in a 55. Plus reckless driving for weaving through traffic. The cop even had dashcam footage. It was bad. She was representing herself, trying to argue the radar was faulty. The judge asked for evidence, and Melissa launched into a rambling monologue about constitutional rights and how successful women were targeted. It was painful to watch, like someone who'd seen 2 episodes of Law and Order try to play attorney. Then her eyes darted to the prosecution section. She saw me. Her face went utterly white. After the judge found her guilty, a $750 fine plus points on her license, she cornered me outside. Derek, what are you doing here? She demanded. I work here, I said, a slow, deep satisfaction blooming in my chest. Assistant DA. Her eyes widened. You actually graduated? Yeah, I replied, a small smile playing on my lips. Past the bar, too. That perpetual student finally made it. I could almost see the gears turning in her head. The state benefits, the career trajectory, the prestige. Bradley and I broke up, she suddenly blurted out. Maybe we could get coffee, catch up? I just shook my head. I'm good, thanks. But hey, next time you get a ticket, maybe hire a real lawyer instead of trying to represent yourself. Night school teaches us that's usually a mistake. I walked away feeling pretty damn good. But that was just the beginning. The universe, it seemed, had a twisted sense of humor. Melissa apparently thought our traffic court encounter was some cosmic signal for a second chance. She started texting from different numbers since I'd blocked her main one. Hey Derek, really proud of what you've accomplished. Always knew you had it in you. We were good together, just hit a rough patch. Bradley turned out to be married. LOL. Remember when we used to laugh about stuff like that? I didn't respond to any of them. But she wasn't done. She showed up at my office building during lunch. Security wouldn't let her up, so she waited outside for 3 hours in the November cold. Derek, what a coincidence, she chirped. Melissa, this is my workplace, I said, my voice firm. Please leave. I just wanted to apologize. I was wrong about night school. You proved me wrong. Okay, I said, try to contain my annoyance. Apology accepted. Now please go. She grabbed my arm. That's it? After 6 years. You mean the 6 years where you belittled my goals, mocked my education, and cheated with Bradley? Yeah, that's it. I never actually slept with Bradley, she cried. Mel, I don't care. We're done. Have been for a year. Then she started crying, but they weren't sad tears. They were furious, indignant tears. You can't just dismiss me. I supported you, she wailed. I actually laughed out loud. You paid half the rent in an apartment you picked that was above my budget. That's not support. I dealt with you being absent all the time because I was in law school, which you called a waste of time. I was trying to be realistic, to protect you from disappointment. That made me laugh again, a bitter, hollow sound. No, you were trying to keep me in my place. Below you. Well, congratulations. I'm exactly where you said I'd never be. She switched tactics, her voice turning icy. Fine, but you'll need someone who understands your new life. Partners at law firms don't date nobodies. Good thing I'm not trying to date partners at law firms. And then she went full nuclear. I'll tell everyone you abandoned me to poverty while you pursued your dreams. That you left me with debt. What debt? I asked, genuinely confused. We never had joint accounts. The emotional debt. The time I invested. I pulled out my phone. Mel, I'm recording this. You're harassing a prosecutor at his workplace. I suggest you leave before I call security. Her face contorted, and she stormed off, but not before shouting, "You were nothing without me." Yeah, okay. The nothing, who's now prosecuting cases while she's paying traffic fines. But she wasn't done. Oh no. The next morning, my supervisor Janet called me in. Derek, did you date someone named Melissa Hartwell? My stomach dropped. Years ago, yes. Why? She's filed a complaint with the Bar Association. Says you used your position to influence her traffic case. I nearly choked on my coffee. I was observing. I didn't even speak. Janet smiled, a reassuring glint in her eyes. Relax. I reviewed the court transcript and security footage. You weren't even in the courtroom when her case started. But I need you to document everything about your prior relationship and her current behavior. Turns out filing false bar complaints is a crime. Janet had me write up everything, forwarding all of Melissa's texts. She's harassing a prosecutor and making false allegations, Janet concluded. That's obstruction of justice at minimum. I don't want to press charges, I said. I just want her to leave me alone. Your call, Janet replied, but document everything. These types escalate. And she was right. Melissa went completely off the rails. Remember how she said I left her in poverty? She started a social media campaign, posting on LinkedIn about how successful women shouldn't date down because men will use your emotional labor to bootstrap their careers then abandon you. She didn't name me, but included enough details that mutual acquaintances figured it out. My paralegal friends from the old firm started sending me screenshots. The post got more unhinged. Spent 6 years supporting a man's dreams only to be ghosted when he achieved them. Some people forget who was there during the struggle. Beware of men who claim to be building something. You're just a stepping stone. The thing is, I had receipts. 6 years of receipts. Remember those texts she used to send? I kept them, including the ones calling me a loser playing dress-up in daddy's suit when I bought my first court outfit. The ones saying, maybe you should stick to construction since thinking isn't your strong suit when I struggled with constitutional law. Even a voice message where she told her friend, while drunk, that she was waiting for him to fail so he'd be grateful again. I didn't want to go nuclear, but she forced my hand when she posted this. My ex owes his entire career to me. I paid his bills while he played student. Now he worked for the DA and acts like he doesn't know me. Users always reveal themselves. That was a straight-up lie. I paid my own bills, my own tuition, my half of everything, despite making less than half what she did. My buddy from law school, Terrence, is a social media wizard. He helped me craft one powerful response. Interesting revisionist history. I posted, here are the facts. Paid my own law school tuition, $67,000 in loans, still paying. Worked full-time throughout school. Split all expenses 50-50 despite significant income disparity. Never received a dime in support. Left quietly when the relationship became toxic. Have all receipts and bank statements if needed for legal proceedings. Some people can't handle when their inferior partner succeeds without them. That's a them problem. I posted it and logged off, my heart pounding. Terrence screenshotted everything, just in case she deleted it. Within an hour, her post was gone, but the damage to her reputation was done. See, Bradley's wife found the posts. She connected the dots about the timeline, and then she posted her own receipts. Screenshots of Melissa texting Bradley while we were together, including some very not safe for work content. Bradley's wife tagged Melissa's company. Melissa's company had a strict social media policy about not bringing negative attention to the firm. You can see where this is going. But wait, there's more. She tried to retain a lawyer to sue me for defamation. 3 different lawyers, according to the Legal Gossip Network, which is surprisingly robust. They all declined after reviewing her evidence, aka her own posts, admitting she lied. So, She did what any rational person would do. She filed a small claims case for $9,500, claiming I owed her for 6 years of emotional support and career guidance. The court date was next week. I was actually looking forward to it. Today was the small claims hearing. Buckle up. I wore my second-best suit, saving the best for actual prosecutorial work. I brought a thick folder packed with 6 years of bank statements, rent receipts, tuition payments, and her greatest hits texts. Melissa showed up in what I can only describe as a wronged woman costume. Conservative dress, minimal makeup, hair in a sad little bun. She'd even brought her mom as emotional support. The judge, Commissioner Reynolds, looked tired before we even started. Melissa went first. Her argument was that she had provided invaluable emotional labor and career guidance that enabled my success. She actually used the phrase, "Behind every successful man is a woman whose work goes uncompensated." Commissioner Reynolds, looking utterly unimpressed, asked, "Do you have documentation of this career guidance?" It was verbal, daily encouragement, keeping his spirits up when he wanted to quit. Me, internally, seething, she literally called me a loser for going to night school. She then tried to introduce her evidence, a handful of photos of us together at various social events over the years. "As you can see, I was there for every milestone," she declared. Commissioner Reynolds examined the photos. "These appear to be social events, parties, restaurants, not academic events." "Well, he never invited me to those," she snapped. "Because you called them remedial graduation ceremonies for adult beginners," I stated calmly. "I said I did not," she shrieked. I pulled out my phone. "Your Honor, I have a voice message from May 15th, 2021. I played it. Her voice, clear as day. "I'm not wasting my Saturday at your stupid fake law school event. It's embarrassing enough that my boyfriend is a 33-year-old student. I'm not watching you play pretend lawyer with the other losers who couldn't hack it the first time." The courtroom was dead silent. Commissioner Reynolds turned slowly to Melissa. "Miss Hartwell, this doesn't sound like emotional support. That was taken out of context. I was having a bad day," she pleaded. "Would you like to hear the one from my law review acceptance? Or when I got my internship?" I asked. "This is harassment," she screeched. "You brought the case, Miss Hartwell." The commissioner reminded her, his voice flat. I then presented my evidence. Bank statements showing I paid exactly 50% of all shared expenses, my law school tuition payments, pay stubs for my paralegal job. As you can see, Your Honor, I was financially independent throughout our relationship. Miss Hartwell made approximately $95,000 to my $42,000. Yet, we split expenses equally. If anyone subsidized anyone, it was me subsidizing her lifestyle by paying half of an apartment she chose that was above my means. Her mom suddenly stood up indignant. "My daughter gave him the best years of her life." "Ma'am, please sit down or leave," Commissioner Reynolds warned. "She was 27 when we met," I added quietly. Hardly a child bride situation. Melissa's final gambit. "He used knowledge of my traffic case to embarrass me. That's abuse of power." Commissioner Reynolds looked utterly confused. "What traffic case?" "He was in the courtroom when I got fined. He's an ADA now." I responded calmly, trying to contain the simmering anger. "Your Honor, I was observing traffic court as part of training. I had no involvement in Miss Hartwell's case. She was cited for going 87 in a 55 and reckless driving. The officer had dashcam footage. She represented herself poorly and lost. That has nothing to do with me." "You're enjoying this," she accused, pointing a trembling finger. "I'm defending myself against a frivolous lawsuit." I corrected, my voice firm. Commissioner Reynolds had heard enough. "Miss Hartwell, not only have you failed to provide any evidence of financial support or career guidance, but the evidence suggests you actively discouraged the defendant's educational pursuits. This case is dismissed." A beat of silence, then he continued. "Furthermore, as this appears to be a bad faith filing intended to harass the defendant, you are ordered to pay his filing fees and court costs. $275. Melissa exploded. "This is corruption. He's a prosecutor. You're all in on it together." "Miss Hartwell, you are dangerously close to contempt," the commissioner said, his voice now steel. I suggest you pay the clerk and leave. As we left the courtroom, her mom hissed at me, "You destroyed her life." "No, ma'am," I replied, my voice steady, my gaze unwavering. "She destroyed our relationship. I just declined to let her destroy my future, too." Melissa tried one last manipulation. "Derek, please. Can we just talk as friends?" "We were never friends, Melissa," I said, the words heavy with 6 years of unspoken truth. "Friends support each other. Friends don't call each other's dreams stupid. Friends don't cheat with coworkers named Bradley." "I told you nothing happened," she insisted. "His wife's divorce filing says otherwise." "Good luck with that deposition, by the way." Her face went utterly pale. Apparently, she didn't know she'd been named in Bradley's divorce. As I walked to my car, a profound sense of freedom washed over me. Not happiness, exactly. You don't spend 6 years with someone without feeling something when it ends this badly. But freedom. Pure, unadulterated freedom. I thought I was done updating, but the universe, it seemed, had other plans for Melissa. Remember Bradley's divorce? His wife subpoenaed Melissa as a witness. But that's not the fun part. The fun part is that Melissa, in her infinite wisdom, decided to lie under oath. She claimed she and Bradley were just friends and that all those texts were taken out of context. Bradley's wife's attorney had receipts. Hotel receipts with Melissa's credit card from when I was at a law school weekend intensive. Perjury. She committed perjury. The family court judge, without hesitation, referred it to the DA's office for prosecution. Guess which ADA got assigned the case? Not me, thank God. Janet's not that cruel. But my colleague Rodriguez got it, and he's thorough. Melissa tried to contact me through her lawyer, her actual lawyer this time, not her representing herself. They wanted me to be a character witness, to testify that she was honest during our relationship. I declined through my supervisor, citing a conflict of interest and, the simple fact that she absolutely was not honest. She ended up pleading to a lesser charge, false statement, not perjury. Got probation and community service. But company found out about the criminal charge. Remember that social media policy I mentioned? Turns out they also have a morality clause. Getting charged with lying under oath about an affair with a married colleague? Not a great look for a marketing executive. She was asked to resign, given the choice between that and termination for cause. Last I heard through the legal grapevine, she moved back in with her parents. The same parents who used to tell me I wasn't good enough for their daughter because I work construction. Yesterday, I ran into her friend Denise at a coffee shop. Denise used to snicker at me about being a perpetual student. "Derek, heard you're with the DA's office now," she said, a hint of surprise in her voice. "I am," I confirmed. "Good for you." "Melissa, she really screwed up, didn't she?" "That's one way to put it." Denise stirred her coffee. "She always thought she was better than everyone, even us, her friends. When you left, she said you'd come crawling back when you realized what you lost." I just raised an eyebrow. "How'd that work out?" Denise laughed. "She still can't understand why you won't take her back. Keeps saying you two were meant to be together. We were together." Then she spent 4 years telling me I was a loser for trying to better myself. Yeah, she mentioned that Denise conceded, said she was motivating you. That's certainly one interpretation. Denise stirred her coffee again, then said something that truly surprised me. When you started law school, we all thought you were having some kind of crisis. She convinced us you were dragging her down. But watching how everything played out, she was the one terrified of you succeeding. Why would she be terrified of that? I asked, genuinely curious. Because then she couldn't control you anymore. Couldn't be the successful one with the devoted blue-collar boyfriend who needed her. You becoming a lawyer meant you didn't need her money, her connections, her guidance. And Melissa needs to be needed. Or, more accurately, she needs to be superior. It was the most honest anyone from that friend group had ever been with me. As I'm writing this, I'm sitting in my small apartment, looking at my law degree hanging on the wall. It's not fancy. State school, night program, nothing prestigious. But I earned every single credit. I survived every insult, passed every exam, all while someone who claimed to love me told me I was wasting my time. I'm 35 years old. I started my legal career when most people my age are hitting their stride. But I'm here, not because someone supported me, but in spite of someone actively trying to hold me back. The other day, one of my law school classmates asked if I regretted the relationship, given how it ended. I said no, not because I'm grateful for the pain, but because it taught me something invaluable. Someone who truly loves you will never make you feel small for trying to grow. They won't mock your ambitions or belittle your progress. They won't call your dreams stupid or your achievements remedial. Melissa thought night school was for losers who couldn't hack it the right way. She thought 31 was too old to start over. She thought I'd fail and come crawling back, grateful for whatever scraps of respect she threw my way. She thought wrong. I'm not posting this for sympathy or validation. I'm posting it because someone out there might be in a similar situation. Someone whose partner makes them feel foolish for going back to school, changing careers, or trying to improve their life. Someone who's being told they're too old, too poor, too whatever to pursue their dreams. You're not. The only person who gets to decide what you're capable of is you. And if someone claims to love you while trying to keep you from growing, that's not love. That's control. Have you ever experienced a situation like this? What did you do? Let me know in the comments below. Class dismissed.